Hello, students. Today we are going to begin with the 10th chapter, the Sermon at Banaras. Now, this chapter covers the journey of Buddha, Mahatma Buddha, from princehood to his saintly life. Remember, sermon is a discourse that is delivered to an audience. Now, see, what is a sermon? Is it different from a lecture or a talk? Can this word also be used in a negative way? Let us see here that a sermon is a discourse for the purpose of religious instruction, while lecture is a discourse for the purpose of instruction on any general topic. And a talk can be formal or informal. Now remember here that normally sermons can also be called a speech on a religious subject or on a moral subject, and they can be given as a part of a service in the church. Sermon aim to convince listeners to their beliefs, to agree with the preacher. Lecture aims to provide the student with the information to allow their intellectual development in the discussed area. Now, in the second question here, as a form of warm-up exercise, what has been given that you should give the meanings of these few words. So let us discuss them first. Afflicted with, grievously affected, especially by a disease. Be composed, in a state of peace and serenity. Desolation is the state of being desolated or ruined. Lamentation is the act of expressing sorrow. Procure is to get something by some effort. And be subject to is the state of being in a situation. Third one that has been given here is, have you heard of the Sermon on the Mount? Who delivered it? Who do you think delivered a sermon at Banaras? Okay, so the Sermon on the Mount, that was given by, or it is actually a collection of sayings, and it was a teaching given by Jesus Christ, which emphasizes his moral teachings. And the sermon at Banaras was delivered by Mahatma Buddha. Let us begin with the chapter. Now, as you are well aware, Gautam Buddha or Mahatma Buddha, born in 1563 BC, died in 483 BC, began life as a prince named Siddhartha Gautam. So you know that he was a prince and his name was actually Siddhartha. And he lived in the northern India. So his kingdom was in northern India. At 12, when he was 12 years old, he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later, he returned home. So you know that schooling is also very important, and in the past, the form of schooling was studying and get acquainted with various skills and the study of literature and especially scriptures, which are very sacred to the Hindus. And after 4 years, when he came back, he was married to a princess. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. So they even had a son, and for 10 years they kept on living in this way, which we can say befitted or be appropriate for royalty or people of the royal blood. At about the age of 25, the prince, heretofore shielded. Now, this prince Siddharth was till now so far heretofore shielded or protected from any kind of sorrow in his life. When he attained 25 years of age, he came across the sufferings of the world for the first time. So, otherwise, he was shielded from the sufferings of the world, but while out hunting, chanced upon a sick man. Then he saw an aged man. So, a sick man again symbolizes sorrow. Aged man also symbolizes that youth never remains forever. You lose your vivacity, you lose your enthusiasm, you lose your energy and your charm as you grow old. Then a funeral procession. That means everyone who is born is bound to die. So that means death is an ultimate reality and it is a great sorrow which each and everyone has to face. So he encountered these for the first time. And finally, a monk begging for alms. That otherwise he was living a life of luxury. He never had any kind of discomfort. And he saw now a man who was even begging for alms, for money or for food. That means he's so poor, he doesn't have enough. These sights so moved him that he at once went out into the world to seek enlightenment. Now he realized that the life he is leading is superfluous and is misleading, and he wants to know the reality of life. Just to know the reality of life, he went away and he was seeking enlightenment. Enlightenment is the state of spiritual knowledge, attaining spiritual knowledge or any kind of knowledge or the reality about something is enlightenment in a way. So he wanted to seek enlightenment concerning the sorrows he had witnessed. He wanted to know the reality, whether sorrow is an inevitable part of life or what was the reality when he saw these people, the sick man, the aged man, the funeral procession, and the monk. So, what is the reality of life? He wandered for 7 years and he could not find anything. He was not able to get enlightened. But finally, he sat down under a peepal tree. And there, when he sat and he contemplated, he meditated, he vowed to stay. Vowed means promised. So he promised to stay until enlightenment came. So he decided that he would stay there, he would meditate until he will get the reality or the real knowledge or essence of life. And enlightenment came also. Enlightened dawned upon him. Enlightened after 7 days, just after 7 days of sitting under this peepal tree, he got enlightenment. He realized the real truth of life, the reality of life. And that is why he named this peepal tree as Bodhi tree or the tree of wisdom, which provided him as a piece, as a means of getting the real knowledge, and began to teach and to share his new understandings. Now, it is very crucial that once you understand something, once you learn something, once you get acquainted with something, you should try to spread that knowledge. And he also did the same thing. He went on far and wide to teach his preachings. At that point, he became known as the Buddha. And now as he was traveling far and wide and spreading his newly acquired knowledge, he now came to be known as Buddha, the awakened or the enlightened. And Buddha means awakened or enlightened. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Banaras. And as you may be very well aware about Banaras, that it is a very holy city. And in this city, he gave his first sermon or first religious lecture or talk. Most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganga. And you know that Banaras is a very holy city, and among all the cities on the bank of which river Ganga flows, through the bank of which river Ganga flows, this city is very holy, and taking a holy dip in river Ganga here is considered to be getting relieved of all the sins that you have did or committed. That sermon has been preserved and is given here. Now, what he preserved and what he gave as a sermon, as a moral teaching to the people of Banaras, has been given here in the later part of the chapter, so that we can also understand the reality of life and can reflect and contemplate upon. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. What is inscrutable? Something that cannot be avoided. That there is suffering is an inherent part of our life, and it cannot be avoided. If we live our life, we cannot part with sufferings. Sufferings are always a part of our life. So Buddha's wisdom is also telling the same thing. The suffering can be of different types. It can be the death of a near and dear one. It can be a disease, an ailment. It can be poverty. It can be some mental suffering. So there can be hundreds or thousands of varieties or sufferings that human beings suffer from. So Buddha is talking that whatever it is, but suffering is unavoidable part of your life, and so you need to accept it. If something cannot be avoided, it has to be accepted as a way of life, and you should know how to lead life with it, how to live life with it, and that also a fulfilling life. In tomorrow's class, we are going to discuss about the story of Kisa Gautami that was mentioned in his sermon, and this is what we are going to study, and what inspiration, what teaching he gave, what is the meaning of that, we are going to study tomorrow. Please revise this, and I hope that you have understood this.